Every morning when the sun rises here at Ngeta near Lira town, it's not just a new day on the school's calendar, but also a new challenge to heads of educational institutions like Lira Christian High School and perhaps the learners. Schools in Kampala may face similar challenges, but it's worse for those in rural areas. The conditions under which the youngsters study could compromise their future prospects. Poor infrastructure, high student number and ultimately low standards are some of the major challenges facing rural schools. Government has worked to cure some of these problems, but the need is enormous. One of the means to keep children in school is by giving them lunch. But this is an additional charge on the tuition, thus raising the cost of fees and throwing out some students. A number of non-governmental organizations have made interventions in the education sector. Fields of Life, an organization with its roots in Northern Ireland, works in remote areas of Uganda to help young people receive quality education.
These are areas or regions or communities where the children out there had no chance to have an education, had never dreamt of going to class, never dreamt of thinking of actually getting to a certain level of education.
Edina Nyakaisiki is the organization's head in East Africa. Fields of Life is driven by the UN Millennium Development Goals that is now under review.
So when we assess that, yes, in this particular scenario, there is a need for a school to be planted in this community, and yes, we can collaborate well with a community, with a church, with a local church there, then we are happy to actually go ahead and support that community.
The organization owns over 117 schools across East and Central Africa, 87 of them in Uganda. Lira Christian High and Truth Primary Schools in Lira are part of the project. The organization spends 300 million shillings to bring each school to this standard. The Fields of Life CEO Richard Spratt says they aim at giving the learners life skills to diversify their abilities.
But children were also learning how to farm, they were learning how to make bricks, they were learning how to mill maize. And what really impressed me was that the local students in that area decided that they would actually move out into the local community and they would actually seek out those people who had no homes and construct homes for the poorest people.
The girl child is considered in a special way. Having a professional team of teachers is critical to ensure the learners get the best. Each year, the directors, head teachers and teachers from the Fields of Life schools meet to review their work and reaffirm their commitment to serve in rural areas. The 7th conference was held this year in Lira, where the participants were retooled on the skills of school management. Nyakaisiki says it's not easy to maintain the teachers after such a course.
You could have a training, say school health training this month or this term or this year. By the following year, the teacher is not there anymore because went to a government school.
The Ministry of Education officials train the participants on school management and alternative means of funding without depending on donor funds or school fees. Eric Gitter, the private school's education officer in the Ministry of Education, gave tips on education entrepreneurship.
Why don't you come up as schools, 2 or 3, start that small-scale industry within your school, produce that venture so that parents can buy from your product instead of buying from businessmen.
Some private schools are already practicing this model through agriculture. Fields of Life is not only engaged in the education sector, but also health and sanitation that are critical to education.
Initially, drill water where there was a supported school. But then it was realized that the need for water was more pressing than what the organization's anticipation was.
The organization has invested billions of shillings in the distribution of clean water in rural areas. By 2014, the NGO had drilled more than 400 boreholes across the country.
So we have 2 drilling rigs that we own and we operate, and we have drilled a total of 420 boreholes in northern Uganda over the last 5 years.
Their target is to cover 1 million Ugandans between 2015 and 2020. The investment has saved thousands of people in rural areas with non-functional boreholes and those who have to walk long distances to find clean water.